Hello, travel addicts. Feeling overwhelmed by the big city life? It's time to grab your fanny pack and set off on an adventure to Europe's cozy small towns. We're talking, of course, about those charming places that seem to whisper stories of the past. Imagine wandering through the streets lined with picturesque buildings and experiencing a pace of life that's just right. These towns are not just beautiful, they're filled with rich culture, stunning natural landscapes, and unique experiences that you won't find anywhere else. We'll take you to hidden gems where the culture is as rich as a hearty homemade stew, the natural scenery is so beautiful that it could be a painting, and the local experiences are as intriguing as a mystery novel. Let's dive into these small town treasures and discover the beauty and vibrant spirit they have to offer. Town number 5, Estoril, Portugal. A delightful village straight out of a fairy tale. This swanky resort has played host to kings, queens, and even the one and only James Bond over the years. All lured by its legendary casino and air of old-world sophistication. The Casino Estoril is the dazzling crown jewel, one of the oldest and most iconic in all of Europe. Step through the doors, and you're transported to a glamorous bygone era of tuxedo-clad croupiers, clouds of cigar smoke swirling under chandeliers, and enough polished marble and sparkling chandeliers to make Marie Antoinette blush. It positively reeks of money and intrigue. In fact, this storied gambling den was depicted as 007's haunt in the original Ian Fleming novel Casino Royale. If these palatial walls could talk, they'd regale you with stories of seductive honey traps, daring undercover operations, and high-stake games of chance that would make even the unflappable Bond blush. Shaken, not stirred, indeed. Once you've blown the kids' college fund chasing Casino Royale fantasies, head outside to the breezy Tamariz Beach. This gorgeous stretch of powdery golden sand offers up the most quintessential Portuguese seaside scenes, with brightly striped umbrellas providing splashes of color against the cerulean waves of the churning Atlantic. It's like a Wes Anderson film set, but with fewer quirky prepsters and more sunbathing tan lines. Follow the scenic promenade path west and you'll wander into Estoril's swanky sister town of Cascais. Here, palatial 19th century manor homes with flawlessly manicured gardens exude old money vibes aplenty. With doormen, luxury hotels, Michelin-starred restaurants, and world-class golf courses at every turn. It's clearly been a pampered aristocrat playground for ages. But the best part about Estoril is that even us peasants can get a taste of the good life here, just by bellying up to a seaside cafe and watching the fabulous people go by. Because when you blend laid-back Portuguese beach culture with a touch of timeless European luxury, that's when the sweet life reaches its high point. Town number 4, Galway, Ireland. This free-spirited harbour town of Galway is on Ireland's western coast. The bohemian beauty has a vibe that's equal parts rocking Celtic trad sesh and funky artist colony. Spend an afternoon ambling along the winding lanes of Galway's historic Latin Quarter, and you'll be completely intoxicated by the sights and the sounds. Brightly colored pubs brimming with the sound of fiddles and ballroom spill out onto the street. Street performers add a lively soundtrack. While buskers keep the party going into the wee hours. It's sensory overload in the most charming way. The area is absolutely teeming with indie galleries, artisan shops, and snug pubs carved into ancient stone buildings. You'll feel like you've stumbled upon an eclectic movie set, one where the costumes are perfectly normal, and the locals seem to exist in a permanently whimsical bubble of art, music, and frothy pints of Guinness. Time your visit for the annual Galway Arts Festival, and the city really kicks things up a few enchanting notches. We're talking about outdoor theater productions, soaring ballets, raucous concerts, and even more excuses to overindulge in Irish music sessions and pub shenanigans than usual. If that's even possible here. When you need to breathe some fresh coastal air, a short drive will take you to the iconic, jaw-droppingly gorgeous Cliffs of Moher, rising majestically from the crashing Atlantic. It's the perfect counterpoint to charming, colorful Galway, showcasing the wilder, more rugged beauty of Western Ireland. Between the arts, the crick, and the proximity to astonishing natural scenery, Galway has enough personality and charisma to make you ditch your future plans and run off to join the town's bohemian ranks. Just try not to lose your soul to the twinkling siren song of traditional music bars. Town number 3, Senlis, France. Ah, the charming town of Senlis in northern France. Now this is a delightful small-town gem worth highlighting. Senlis has managed to preserve its medieval character and architecture in spectacular fashion. Wander the winding streets of the historic center and you'll be enveloped in an atmosphere straight out of the Middle Ages. At its heart lies the breathtaking Senlis Cathedral, a prime example of late Gothic architecture with its towering facade and intricate stone carvings. The cathedral feels plucked from the pages of a Victor Hugo novel, looming over the quintessential French scenery of half-timbered houses, flowering chestnut trees, and cafe terraces spilling onto cobblestone lanes. And speaking of the cafe life, Senlis has it in spades. The central Place du Palais overflows with energy as locals and visitors alike sip pastis or burgundy while watching the world go by. You'll absolutely swear you've been transported to a Parisian art film from the 1960s. Beyond the stately cathedral, Senlis boasts remarkably intact ancient ramparts and gates from its feudal days. A lovely trail follows a circuit of stone walls and towers, perfect for getting delightfully lost in romantic reveries of knights and maidens. The town also hosted several famous French kings and nobles from over the centuries, lending it an air of regal prestige. And you can visit their former residences like the Rayu Palace ruins and French Renaissance mansions, now housing museums. For an extra slice of living history, time your visit for one of the annual festivals or reenactments where Senlis celebrates its heritage with colorful costumes, knights on horseback, music, and medieval games. It's like stepping through a real-life time portal. Charming, cultured, and blissfully frozen in time, Senlis truly is a small-town standout in France. It effortlessly combines historic grandeur with a laid-back village vibe. The perfect spot to savor a taste of La Belle Époque while nibbling on a freshly made croissant. Town number 2, Stein am Rhein, Switzerland. A gorgeous little medieval town that looks like it was plucked straight out of the Brothers Grimm storybook. Situated along the shores of the Rhine River, this fairytale village will have you double-checking if you accidentally wandered onto the set of a live-action Disney movie. The old town's fresco-adorned buildings, complete with protruding wood beam construction and flower boxes overflowing with geraniums, seems too perfectly preserved to be real. As you meander through the carless cobblestone streets, you'll be delightfully assaulted by a cavalcade of sights straight out of the 16th century. The iconic Rathausplatz town square remains the colorful medieval heart ringed by guide halls, civic buildings, and fountains topped with cheeky statues. The real showstoppers here are the delicately frescoed home facades brought to life by storied folktales or coats of arms. It's like an entire town got a Renaissance-era graffiti makeover, except here it's celebrated artwork instead of civic blight. Be sure to study them closely. I'm pretty sure I spotted Rapunzel letting her hair down on one building. Despite its old-timey look, Stein am Rhein is no dusty fossil. The riverfront promenade hums with lively cafes and beer gardens, offering the perfect vantage point to admire the iconic buildings while clinking steins of crisp Swiss lager. It's all the charm of a fairytale village with the addition of spirited beverages. Getting here is half the fun too. The village is nestled in the utterly picturesque Rhine Valley, with vineyards and rolling alpine hills that look straight out of The Sound of Music. Just try not to burst into a yodel-filled sing-along as you arrive. I dare you, it's almost impossible not to. From its whimsical architecture to its storybook ambiance, diminutive Stein am Rhein is a town so ridiculously enchanting, you'll be double-checking for an actual sorcerer spell. It's small-town Switzerland at its absolute finest. Number 1. Hallstatt, Austria. Finally, the top of our list, Hallstatt, the tiny Austrian village that looks like it was art directed by an overzealous storybook illustrator. Tucked away in a narrow alpine valley with colorful frescoed buildings appearing to casually tumble down the shores of a mirror-like lake, Hallstatt looks almost too perfect to be real. It's like someone crammed every alpine fairy tale trope into one ridiculously scenic place. As you wander the village's car-free lanes and snap your jaw off the ground for the 100th time, you'll half expect Julie Andrews to come swirling around a corner, bursting into song alongside a platoon of lederhosen-clad puppets.
With do, re, mi, do, re, mi.
The 16th century houses adorned with flower boxes and frescoed shingles are so paternally quaint, you'll start questioning if they were actually constructed by a deranged confectioner rather than stone masons. And that iconic view across the glassy Hallstatter Lake towards the soaring Stein Mountains? It's like someone at the Daydreams Incorporated factory got a little too heavy-handed with a make it sigh-inducingly pretty lever. But amidst all the eye-boggling alpine splendor, cozy Hallstatt remains an utterly laid-back old salt mining town at heart. You'll see locals putt-putting across the lake in flat-bottom boats, transporting supplies or tools as their ancestors have done for centuries. Nearby hiking trails take you farther into the secluded mountain valleys to admire hidden waterfalls, glacier-carved valleys, and impossibly perched chalets that will make you swear the Keebler elves were their architects. Just be warned, after experiencing laid-back Austrian alpine living at its finest, you may find yourself secretly browsing real estate listings and pricing out Swiss Army knives on Amazon. Resistance is futile against Hallstatt's charms. There's nothing quite like ditching the tourist-thronged big cities and discovering the real magic tucked away in Europe's small towns. We're talking storybook scenes that would make the Brothers Grimm swoon. Colorful medieval houses leaning against each other like groups of drunken revelers, cobblestone lanes leading to massive Gothic cathedrals, and alpine wonderlands so pristine you'll wonder if you wandered into a place where Adam and Eve used to live. From bohemian Celtic music serenade villages to aristocrat seaside glitzfests, these tiny pockets of old-world enchantment effortlessly conjure the wanderlust feels with their living history, spectacular scenery, and distinctively unhurried rhythms. So forget the traffic jams and chaos of Berlin or Rome for once, and embrace the fairytale level charms of going to small towns in Europe. Your inner storybook aficionado will thank you. Until next time, from your friends at The Vacation Agent, safe travels.